Let's try to see how we can say these things. Rishabh, do you mind helping me say these things in German? So there are
Yeah,
seven.
sure.
Yeah, start, please.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. I think we should hire him. Uh, ich denke, wir sollen ihn hire. I don't know.
But actually, I mean, that is fine if you don't know, but like you understand that, okay, you have to say wir sollen ihn, and whatever the verb
In
for hire is,
yeah,
that's all
yeah,
you have to write. Okay?
yeah,
Okay, no
yeah.
problem. We'll learn the verb for hire later. Continue. Next sentence.
Okay. It is good that you are punctual. Um, es ist gut, dass du bist pünktlich. But here we are using das, so bist will go at the end. So
Yes.
du pünktlich bist.
Yeah, correct. You are saying bisht, if I'm not wrong. So you are saying sure. It's not sir, it's just sir. Bis.
Bist. Okay,
Okay?
bist. Okay. Yeah.
Next sentence, please.
I find it interesting that one verb can have two meanings. Ich finde es interessant, dass ein Verb kann zwei Bedeutungen haben.
So you're doing the mistake. You just said when you use das, the conjugated verb will be at the last position. So one more try.
Okay. Ich finde es interessant, dass ein Verb zwei Bedeutungen haben kann.
Correct. Next one.
Yeah. I'm sure that I passed the exam. Ich bin sicher, dass ich bestehe die Prüfung. The bestehe will go at the end, so it will be ich bin sicher, dass ich die Prüfung bestehe.
Very good. Continue.
Um, I'm sad because I did not pass the exam. So it should be ich bin traurig, weil ich habe die Prüfung nicht bestanden. I
Yeah, but you
passed,
here
I
you're
think
using
bestanden.
while, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So habe will go at the end. So
Yes.
it should be ich bin traurig, weil ich die Prüfung nicht bestanden habe.
Very good. Do you know the how do you say happy, confused, irritated, stressed?
Yeah, happy should be glücklich, confused should be verwirrt, irritated should be irritiert, stressed should be gestresst.
Okay. Glücklich has one more meaning. So of course it means happy.
Froh,
Yeah.
froh.
No, no, yeah, that is fine. No, but like the word glücklich itself has two meanings. It can have many meanings, but so one, the
Yeah,
word glücklich, it means happy. It can also mean,
lucky as well.
yeah, lucky, right? Yeah, so that is very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rishabh. You're doing homework. Very good. Anyone knows how to say higher? Don't check now. Don't Google. Any idea how to say higher? Really? Okay. Let's see. So higher to say, there are many ways to say it. You can just say einstellen. Okay. So ich denke, wir sollen ihn einstellen. Okay. Jemanden einstellen. Okay. Jemanden is like this JMDM or JMDN is a short form of abbreviation of jemanden, someone. And it will be accusative. So whatever that is here, accusative, right? If instead of like
It's
it's a,
trennbar, right?
sorry,
It's trennbar.
Einstellen is trennbar, yes, it is trennbar. But because we are using Zolen, that's the beauty of that's the utility of modal verb, right? The moment you use modal verb, you don't even care whether it is trennbar or not, right? It doesn't matter, right? Trennbar, but it is good. You are saying that it is trennbar. Yes, I have. It also has been highlighted on the slide. Ein is the prefix, separable prefix. Okay, so
Yeah,
that
like
is
we
yeah,
want. If I want to say that we hire him,
yeah.
so
Then
it
you
should
have
be
to
like
say done.
yeah,
Then what will you say?
yeah. It should be
We
um,
had it.
wir stellen ihn ein.
Correct. Okay. Uh, Now, as I said, like this looks very simple, right? So now where like now you can replace denke with so many things, right? Ich denke, ich glaube, ich sage, right? Or I hear, or let's say, like for example, uh, let's say you are saying, I am hearing that you are going to hire that guy, I am hearing that you are going to hire that woman or that friend, ich habe something like that. Okay, so you can replace. Now, instead of sollen, you can write, müssen, uh, dürfen. Now you'll say where dürfen. Sometimes when you apply for a job, they will ask like, do you have the visa, do you have the blue card, something like that. Okay, uh, you can replace. Now we are sollen ihn, and you can replace einstellen with something else. I don't know, fire. I don't know how to say fire, but like you can. I mean, I don't think you will ever say that. It's gut wrenching when you have to say that. Like wish you should fire someone, but I'm saying you can replace einstellen. Like for example, uh, einladen. Invite someone, right? Okay, you can replace. So what I'm saying, like you can replace every verb that we have over here with something else to say something else, and that is your task. If you think this makes sense. Next one is, it is good that you are punctual. In this sentence, right? So you had one sentence, comma, and the next sentence. There is nothing special, right? So normally what you have to do is you place the verb, the conjugated verb at the second position. So in this sentence, Denker is at the second position just after ish. Here the conjugated verb sollen. I mean, because we have via, it is okay. There's a mistake. It should be via, right? Not v. Okay, via, not v. Yeah. So via is all. If it was ia, then it would have been zolt or salted, sorry, yeah, something like that. Okay, the verb, the conjugated verb, is at the second position. In this sentence, it is good that you are punctual. Es ist gut that you. If there was no that, I would have said it is good you are punctual. It would have been es ist gut. Of course, pause because of the comma. Du bist pünktlich. But I'm writing das over here, and that is why when you use das, you have this. Das is there. I will did this in A1. We also did this revision in the very zero session of A2, like this first session of A2 or zero session. But I told you three types of conjunctions, right? So thus belongs to that category where the conjugated verb will be pushed to the last position, right? Similarly, while, which we'll see later, right? So the sentence, if it was only you are punctual, you would have said du bist pünktlich. But because you want to say that, so you will say das, du pünktlich bist. Okay. Now people get confused, right? You have that in English, right? So if I can use that as a conjunction, I can also use that as a pronoun. Now listen to what I'm saying. In English, you can use that as a conjunction. You can also use it as a pronoun. For example, I don't do that. I don't eat that. I am not that person. I am not that. That is not here. You know, it is not that. Here you are using that as a pronoun. In this sentence specifically, you are using that as a conjunction. In German, if you just want to say that, something like that as a pronoun, you will say das, right? You say das. Das mag ich nicht. I'm not doing that, right? Ich esse das nicht. I'm not eating that. Ich trinke das nicht. I don't drink that. Here you are using, then it is only das, like only single s, okay? Single s, not double s. In German, if you want to say something like that as a conjunction, you have to say das. Now, this is something very easy. Many of you are thinking, okay, why am I forcing on that? I'm saying this because this is, I mean, it's something very easy, right? You also know it. I mean, you never thought about it, but now that I say it, you say, hey, I understand, right? So in English, you have only that, and in English, that can be used as a pronoun as well and as a conjunction. But in German, you have das, double s, and you also have das, single s. Single s das is a pronoun, double s das is a conjunction. Pronunciation is the same. Now you understand. That's so easy. What I'm saying is that the idea is that as you keep learning German, I am only spending like 1.5 hours per session with you, right? So I'm not spending more than 20 hours with you. Ideally, you are supposed to learn German. I'm supposed, like, if I have enough time and if you have enough time and if there are enough sources, I'm supposed to teach you German for 160 hours every level. And then you are supposed to do 160 hours of homework. So you are supposed to do like 320 hours like together. But like I'm only, instead of spending 160 hours, I'm spending only 20 hours with you. That is like, how much is 20 of 160? Less, like 15%, something 15%, right? So idea is that when I say something, think, you have to understand this logic, and then this is how you keep learning. Whenever you learn something, think, is there something that I can correlate, something like that. Okay, any questions, please ask. Next sentence is, I find it interesting that one verb can have two meanings. Again, here there is nothing difficult. I mean, in this sentence, right, it is good that you are punctual. And here, after that, the sentence had only one verb. In this sentence, that, after that, there are two verbs, right? One verb can, and the other one is have. So can and have. All I'm trying to say is with this one is that now in this sentence, ein Verb kann, the I is missing, zwei Bedeutungen, ein Verb, zwei Bedeutungen haben kann. So what I'm trying to say is that when you use that, thus as a conjunction, the conjugated verb will be at the last position. You know, if you only had to say one verb can have two meanings, you would have said ein Verb kann zwei Bedeutungen haben. So haben was anyhow at the last position. All that happened is that because of this thus, the conjugated verb, which was at the second position after the subject, got pushed to the very last position. Okay, remember this. Now, again, how you can use the sentence in different scenarios. Replace interesting with other things. I find it good. I find it bad. I find it really good. I find it better. I find it brilliant. I find it stupid. I find it idiotic. I find it pleasant. I find it unpleasant. I find it sticky. You know, I find it cheesy, right? Something like that. You can replace something, and then question.
One so question that means yeah, I'm joined after last week. That means if we I'm not I just want to recall that means if we have a main verb and the modal verb, then the modal verb goes to the end,
You should
right?
not think like that.
Why?
So in this, you should think what you are saying is right. It's not wrong. But you're
Mm-hmm.
saying the modal verb goes to the last position, and the
Mm-hmm.
main verb is anyhow at the last position. So if you only were saying like if there was only if you only wanted to say one verb can have two meanings, right? Then you would have said ein Verb kann zwei Bedeutungen haben. Okay, this is how a normal sentence structure looks like.
And verb, yeah,
Kann,
with the modal verb, yes.
right?
Yeah,
So modal
can
verb is at the second.
soy bedeuten haben. Yes.
Yeah, right. So the modal verb is at the second position, right? It is the conjugated verb. Only thing that, I mean, what you said is not wrong. I'm just saying it's not the, I mean, it's not the, I would say the correct way of thinking it. With that
Mm-hmm.
logic, you will be right most of the time. What I'm saying is that think like this. When you use conjunction like thus, there is a list of conjunctions where this happens. The conjugated verb goes to the last position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in the last sentence, in this sentence, there was only one verb, and that was being conjugated, right? Sein, bist, and it went to the last position. In this
What is
sentence,
conjugative verb? I mean, maybe I just
yeah,
want to understand. When you make conjugative verb means the
the
verb that
verb
is
which is so I read, he reads, she reads. The verb which is
okay.
being the spelling is the verb which is dependent on the subject.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
For example, let me do this. So
Or the verb that immediately follow the subject, right? Yeah.
you can say that, or the verb like which the spelling change. Yeah, I mean, you can. It's like like it's like saying a equal to b or b equal to a. So you have a subject and you have a verb, and you may or may not have object. This is how a normal sentence looks like, right?
Yeah.
And then you conjugate this verb, right? You change the spelling depending on what kind of a subject it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also
Yeah.
like present tense, past tense, but it's another day. Then sometimes you have a modal verb, and then you can have object or you cannot have objects. It depends on you. And then you will
Mm-hmm.
have the other verb. Then you can say like this is the main verb, right? It is at
Mm-hmm.
the last position. Now this verb is being conjugated,
Mm-hmm.
right? Conjugated mean like the spelling changes depending on the subject, because in this sentence this verb,
Ah, okay.
its spelling will not change. It will
Understood.
remain the
Understood.
same.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Answer your
Mm-hmm.
question.
Yes. 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 Then
Okay.
and now if I have thus in before this, or you are now this sentence you are conjugating with another sentence, then the modal verb will go to the last end, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it will go
Okay.
to the last position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can show you. Let me just unshare and then I will share again. I think, mm, I will just give you a short, how do you say, teaser, but I will request you to go to the zeroth recording that where I had like done a revision of all the important topics from A1, so that, because this is from A1, but I'll still go through it. Just give me 1 second. Let me find the correct slide. Not trying to demotivate you, just telling you that if you revise, it's much better. Okay. Where is the zeroth slide? Not A1.
I have one question here. Like, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, no problem.
The
Ask.
the spelling for find and Zoya is correct, or is it,
No, it's why I think there is a mistake. The I is missing.
and for find as well?
Let me find which where find.
Ish-
Yeah, there
Yeah.
is a mistake. It's Finder. You're right. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think I did copy paste and I forgot change the color. Yeah,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
you are right. Let us look at the more questions. Where is the list of?
Yeah, in the the meaning, may
Yeah, go ahead.
the German word of the meaning is Bedeutung, right? Actually, I said Bedeutung, but here you have written zwei Bedeutungen, right?
Because plural, right?
So, oh yeah, two meaning. Oh yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Let
yeah.
me
Thank you.
find
Yeah.
this. Where is that slide? Should have had the slide. I think it was in the zeroth session. Rishabh, did we cover or did we not cover the conjunctions part in the zeroth session?
We did cover it.
Okay, where is the slide? Can't find it for some reason.
Conjunctions, right?
Yeah. Here I found it. Okay. Yes. Let's just do it. So there are three that there are depending on whom you ask, but like normally people agree that conjunctions can be divided into three different categories. Okay. Uh, I think one category is called like subordinating, another is called as coordinating, another is called as they are called as Konjunktional adverbi, and so they are conjunctions and adverbs as well. Ignore all that. All you have to remember is that don't try to read the slide. Follow me. So there are these five conjunctions: und, oder, aber, den, sondern. When you use these, nothing happens. The sentence structure remains as it is. So if you say ich will Deutsch lernen, there is no difference. Like will is at the second position. And if you say, if you instead of using und, you use oder, aber, den, sondern, nothing happens. The sentence structure remains the same. Okay, so these are the good kind of conjunctions. If you ask me, like you don't have to remember any different structure. Then you have these conjunctions: das, so, das, weil, da, damit, obwohl. With these ones, what happens is that the conjugated verb will be pushed to the last position. Okay, so with these five, no change. With these, there can be more to the list, but these are the I think common you should know. The conjugated verb is at the last position. Then you have the third list. With this one, all you have to remember is that the conjugated verb will follow immediately after the conjunction. So whenever you use dan, danach, deswegen, daher, darum, the verb which is conjugated will immediately be here. So it's obvious that the subject will be here, right? Does this answer your question?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
So it just maybe sometimes confuses. Maybe I need to refresh it. This isn't the session zero or 01.
It's the zeroth one, yeah. Like just the
Okay,
first of
okay,
A2, yeah, you can do it.
okay,
But again,
okay.
if you are preparing for an exam, it is important. For real life, it does not matter.
Yeah, yeah, that's what points. In real life, I'm not sure whether you really say.
It's the
Uh,
thing is, when I say it does not matter, the thing is,
mm-hmm,
if you don't correct this mistake, it will become.
mm,
I'm saying it's not a big mistake, but if you spend like at
mm,
least let's say 7 8 years in Germany, and if you still do this mistake, and you don't know you're doing this mistake, it's. I'm saying okay, maybe German language is not your life doesn't revolve around it, but it's
mm,
still a skill which you could not master. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
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 you know. It's like when you learn. I remember I learned swimming, and my teacher was really. I said, okay, I don't drown, right? I can swim. He said, but you still never you never stretch your legs completely. He kept pointing that out. So I'm just
yeah,
doing what my teacher did to me, right? Telling you that you don't do that,
yeah,
right? Yeah. Or let's say you write some report, you write some email. There it may seem like this guy did not write correct, did not use correct grammar, something like that. Yeah. More questions? Okay, just someone pointed out, yeah, here it should be Finder, so A or E is missing. Also here I is missing. And Rishabh, you said Bedeutung, so I think you said singular. I did not notice, but it should be plural, right? Bedeutungen. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
More questions, guys? Keep pointing out mistakes so that I remember them next time. Okay, let's look at these two sentences. Ich bin sicher, dass ich die Prüfung bestehe. Okay, the full stop is missing. But here again, when you use das, the verb, the bestehe, is at we push it to the last, full stop is missing. I think it's obvious. This one, I'm sure that I can pass the exam. All that happened is that you just added can. When you say can, so again, pass, the bestehen, you will not conjugate anymore, right? It will be in its infinitive format. The can, können, conjugated for ich, kann, will be here at the last position. Okay. Now you can replace, right? I am sure that blah blah, right? I'm sure, or I am not sure, all right? Something like that. Okay. You can, I'm saying, like, you can keep use these templates and try to write different sentences. Okay. Right. For example, one thing you can do, right, is if you want to motivate yourself, take this sentence: I'm sure that in 5 years I can blah blah. In 5 years I can buy a house. In 5 years I can go for retirement. In 5 years I can go for a promotion. In 5 years I can open a company. Write things. This, you never know when you may end up saying that. Okay. In 5 years I will be speaking, instead of 5 years, right? I'm sure that after 6 months, that in 6 months I will speak fluent German. Something like that. Okay. Let's look at this one. This slide looks a little bit scary, but I'm trying to say is that what I'm trying to say is that when you learn something, try to exploit that learning. When I say exploit, see in how many different ways you can use that specific learning. For example, I am sad because I did not pass the exam. Again, because you can say while or the, and while and the belongs to the same category as thus, so the conjugated verb will be at the last position. Okay. uh, Now I am ich bin traurig, again. So for example, ich bin traurig, I can replace traurig with happy, froh or glücklich, weil ich die Prüfung, instead of nicht, you can just say I passed the exam because weil ich die Prüfung bestanden habe. Now you can replace, I don't know if you know, at least what I know, like, it's always good to tell exactly how you are feeling. Sometimes we think we are stressed, but maybe you are just hungry. Sometimes you think you are sad, but maybe you're just hungry. I mean, I always think that you should just eat and problems will be solved. But I'm saying, pinpoint, make a list of adjectives which you can use to describe your mental state, right, or physical state, right? For example, I am awake, I am asleep, I am tired, I am fresh, right? So you can write all these things. Okay. And then, for example, you can write I am happy, and then write 5 sentences why you are happy, right? Then say I'm sad, then write 5 sentences why you are sad. Write all these things, right? Okay. In this way you can also give, like, let's say if you're giving feedback, you can say, right, I'm happy that you did this, I'm happy that you did that, right? I'm proud, ich bin stolz, something like that. The next sentence, I find it important. I find it blah blah. How many times do you say it? I believe many times, right? Then learn, I find it important, good, bad, relevant, irrelevant, right? So, Puneet, do you mind reading these adjectives for me? The green ones, just as it is. Okay. Maybe someone else. Santosh?
I'm sorry because my kid is in my hand and
Okay, no
I
problem. No
I
problem.
cannot do anything. I'm just have to survive now.
No
Yeah.
problem. Tejas, no problem. Tejas, do you mind reading the green ones so that somebody
Yeah.
has some speaking practice?
Sure. So it's wichtig,
Yeah.
gut, schlecht, relevant, irrelevant, hilfreich, interessant, nützlich, gefährlich, überall, nirgendwo.
Please read this one again.
Nützlich,
Nützlich, right? So whenever you have some trouble, try to repeat the same thing again and again. This one,
gefährlich,
it's not a. So whenever you have this a umlaut, right? You should say, how you say air in English, like air that we breathe. So just
Okay.
say air without the r part.
So gefährlich.
Correct. That's how you say most of the times. Okay. And if you're even not sure, just say a. Ideally it
Okay.
should be that a of air, but if you're not sure, just say a. Gefährlich.
Vanish.
This one.
Overall.
Yeah, right. So when you learn something, right, everywhere, then you learn the opposite. Like everywhere
Mhm.
is überall. Then what is nowhere? Nirgendwo, right? How do you say anywhere? Like everywhere überall,
Mhm.
nowhere nirgendwo. How do you say anywhere? I can't find it anywhere.
Uh-huh.
Any, it's irgendwo. You just have to replace the n. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm
Okay.
only spending like 1.5 hour with you per session. This is how you should
Correct.
think. This is how you do homework. Okay.
Okay.
Please read this one.
Which tick?
So depending on where you stay, depending on which part of Germany, Wichtig will be right, but
Mhm.
Wichtig is also right. What I'm saying, so it can be Wichtig, it can be Wichtig, depending on where you stay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Now, so when you learned in A1, or at least when you were with me, I told you that present tense, there is only present tense. There is nothing like, I mean, in English, we have like present continuous, present perfect, and so on, right? You have four different, and present
Mhm.
continuous perfect or something, or simple present tense. In
Mhm.
German, do we have something relevant? Yes, but we don't exactly say, right, this is present continuous, this is something like that. In German, at least what I learned, maybe I'm
Mhm.
wrong, but I learned you just have present tense. And if you want to say, right, if you want to say I eat, then you say ich esse. If you want
Yes.
to say I am eating, then you can also say it's the same thing, ich esse. Then you'll say,
Mhm.
okay, how will the person know? The person will know. That's it.
Mhm.
Okay. And then you learned about past tense. When we learned about past tense, I told you there are two ways to talk about past. There are three ways, so you can talk about like past. One example you can think of this is that whenever I had a fight with my flatmate
Mhm.
about cleaning, he used to say that, I cleaned my apartment. I cleaned the apartment last time, and this time you have to clean. And I used to say in German, for example, he used to say, ich hab die Wohnung sauber gemacht. And I used to say, du hast nicht, du hattest die Wohnung sauber gemacht. Because
Mhm.
hattest, when you say, it's like way back, like it's like way, way back. That is called
Mhm.
as plusquamperfect. No, it's not that relevant in normal life, unless until you're describing something normally. So you can just describe like recent past. So there is preteritum and there is
Mhm.
perfect. Preteritum, also because it is difficult. Why I say it is difficult? If you look at this one, how in present tense you learn the conjugation, right? So you learn the conjugation for ich finde, du findest, sie findet, ihr okay, ihr should be findet is a mistake. Ihr should be findet, and zz should be findet. So you learn, four different ways, and for via and zz, it's normally the same one,
Mhm.
now, if you want to use preteritum, you will have to learn the same, so you will have to learn fund, fundest, fund, funden, funded,
Mhm.
funden, right? You have to learn something like this. You have to do this for every verb, right? This is why preteritum is difficult. So you go for perfect, right?
Mhm.
And this is what perfect does, right? So, for example, here I did not pass the exam. Of course, you could have said, like, you could have learned how to say bestanden in preteritum, but it's
Mhm.
difficult. So what you can do is you can just learn the best. So what you do is, instead of learning all new varieties of a verb in preteritum, just learn one variety that is called as participes y or perfect. And for every verb we'll have, like, for example, essen, the participes y or perfect is gegessen. Fahren,
Mhm.
it's gefahren. Right?
Mhm.
Schlafen, geschlafen. So for
Mhm.
bestehen, it is bestanden. And all you have to do is use haben or sein, right,
Yep.
as the helping verb. So this is what you do. Now, what I'm saying is that normally preteritum is going to make your life difficult. So go with perfect, right? It's easier to say. It's also less work, right? But of course, you cannot just avoid preteritum all your life. You have to learn. Now, when to learn? For example, saying things like I find, I found, I eat, I ate. Okay, I ate, I never say, right? For example, I think, I thought, right? Right? Something like that. So how this is easy to learn, right? Fund, fundest, fund, right? Something like I am, I was, right? What I'm saying is that please learn preteritum for some common verbs, right? I believe, I thought, ich glaube, ich glaubte, du glaubtest, sie glaubte, wir glaubten, ihr glaubtet, sie glaubten. Okay, what I'm saying is that you will be fine with perfect or participes y, but you will have to learn uh, preteritum for some common verbs. Okay. Yeah, so the at least for sein, of course haben as well. For example, uh, you want to say like I had a dream, ich hatte einen Traum, right? Something like that. I had something like that. Like I had, right? So learn preteritum for some common verbs. Okay, questions.
Hi, here one question.
I
Am I
got
audible?
again. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Sorry. So here, in the first sentence, okay, could you please pronounce happy? The Frau, is it Frau or
Not Frau, Fro. Oh, Fro.
Fro?
Yeah,
Okay, Fro.
yeah.
Next word, okay, Fro. Confused?
Try
Okay.
to read.
Ferviet?
Exactly, Fabiet. That's it. Yeah,
Ferviet. Okay. Okay. Ferviet. Trust. Okay. Yeah,
that's it.
fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank.
Karthikeyan, a homework for you. Please, next time,
Okay.
learn not like trying to bother you. Learn a lot of adjectives. I was about to say this to everyone. Everyone, learn adjectives. They will save your
Okay.
life. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
One question here. Why? I'm not sure. Why? Because I did not pass the exam. It's the proof and nicht bestanden habe.
Mhm.
Why used the you put an arrow mark for did for habe? Is it just I don't
Habe.
understand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
habe.
actually like the arrow is that. So in German, right? Whenever so did is you can say I yeah. This is actually how I think of it. When you say perfect, right? In German also, right? You can say I passed the exam. I did pass the exam. I ate the food. I did eat the food. So when you say did, right? This is in my head. You are making something like concrete. It did happen, right? So in German also, like even though I say preteritum, you can ignore. Like preteritum and perfect, the meaning is the same. But still, if you talk to teachers who have studied, they will say preteritum means that you are framing something like past continuous, right? For example, if you say ich fand, uh, then it is something like I found. But if you say ich hab gefunden, it is something like I did find. Am I making sense or am I confusing you? So
Okay, because I did not pass the exam. For me, it is a preteritum,
no,
right?
did not pass the exam. In English, it doesn't matter. Okay, this arrow is not like a hard and fast rule. I was just trying to like make some sense that what goes where. So I'm saying whenever you want to say I did blah blah, I did blah blah, I did blah blah, that did will either be replaced by haben or sein,
Hmm.
and then the other verb, pass here bestanden. I can
Yeah,
just
but
say
here in the above sentence, ich bin tarisch, weil ich die Prüfung nicht bestanden habe.
yeah.
So, ich die Prüfung nicht bestanden habe, for me, is more about perfect, right? So it's a perfect form,
Yeah, it is
right?
perfect. Yeah, that's why I'm saying
Yeah.
like did. If you talk to teachers, like perfect is something like which happened, like which started and it also ended in the past tense. If you talk to teachers,
Yeah.
right?
Okay,
Yeah.
understood.
For example, in English also we say I was eating, but I was eating. It was some. I mean, at least in my, it's like preteritum, like it was happening. But you say I did eat, right? Something like this is again this arrow is not like I'm not going to like tell you that this is how it is. I'm just telling you that if you frame something in past tense, uh, I don't think I can defend this that this arrow is correct. I cannot defend that logic. Yeah, this is just a stupid logic that I have. Yeah. More questions?
Yeah, sorry. Here one question. So bestanden, is it correct?
Yeah, it is the participe zwei of because this sentence is in past tense, right? So when you write something in past tense, right? When you write something in past tense, you write subject, then you write helping verb, then you may or may not have an object, then you write the actual verb in participe zwei format, and the helping verb can be haben or sein in present tense. So you conjugate haben or sein in present tense for the given subject, and the other verb, the main verb, will be in participe zwei format. So the main verb is pass, and Bestehen, its participle 2 ist bestanden. Essen, gegessen. Fahren, gefahren. Schlafen, geschlafen. Right? Sein, gewesen. Haben, gehabt. Do I make sense, Karthikeyan, or am I confusing you?
Yeah, yeah. Sein means gewesen. Huh?
So sein, so every verb has a participle 2. So participle 2 of finden is gefunden. Participle 2 of bin, sein is gewesen. As you continue, as you move on, I don't think you will learn in B1, but as you continue, you will hear that sometimes people, uh, something like, if you want to say I was there, right? How do you say it? You will say da bin ich gewesen. You are saying I was there, so you want to say something in past tense, right? So you, for example, da also means there. Now here da is not a conjunction. Here da is just like a normal word. At the second position you have the helping verb, and the helping verb you can say sein or haben. Here we go with sein, so bin. And then what is the main verb? To be, right? Was. So sein and participle 2 of sein is gewesen. This will confuse you if you try to understand this, but this is also true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
For example, if you want to say I had a dog, right? How will you say this? Ich hatte
Ich hatte
einen Hund.
ein,
You can say this one. This is Präteritum. Or you can also say Ich hatte einen Hund. Or you can say Ich habe einen Hund gehabt. Okay? Makes sense?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
okay.
So, yeah, more questions. Okay, let's continue. So all I'm, now that you understood the logic of this is just a repetition of some topic like das you already know from A1. You also covered this in zero session of A2, but this is just what I'm saying, right? So after das, what you have, we call it the Nebensatz. Some teachers will say das is a part of Nebensatz, but what do you care? All you have to understand is that when you use das, I mean, I can just extend this box and say, like, thus is a part of the name and that's, but who cares? All you have to know is that when you use thus, the conjugated verb after what in whatever sentence thus is there will be at the last position. So here, for example, when you're using a normal verb, Hauptsatz is like, you can think of this as the main clause, subordinate clause, but what do you care? No one cares. Okay, leave it to the teachers. Subject, verb, object, you conjugate the verb, right? But if you write the same sentence after thus, the conjugated verb will be at the last position. If you have two verbs, right, you have a modal verb and the other verb, and the other verb can be trennbare or normal verb, but it does not matter whether it is trennbare or not. The moment you use a modal verb, the other verb will be in infinitive format. That's a good thing about modal verb. They make your life easier. It will be conjugated. And if you have this entire sentence after thus or any of those connectors like while, whatever you saw, this will be the conjugated verb will be at the last position. If you have, in this sentence we said subject, verb, object. I told you it's a normal verb. And as a normal verb, it's a verb which does not have a prefix. And if it has a prefix, it is not separable. It's just one entire verb. uh, when you have separable verbs or trennbare verben as we call them, normally you place the prefix at the last position, right? For example, I sleep, ich schlafe. If I want to say I fall asleep, ich schlafe ein, right? Einschlafen, right? uh, but if you have the same sentence after thus or any of those connectors, conjunctions, then the conjugated verb will be at the last position. And all that happens, you have subject, uh, like, the uh, the verb without the prefix being conjugated. You may or may not have object, and you have prefix. If I place a das over here, this verb, conjugated part of the verb, will be here. That's why you see subject, object, prefix, verb conjugated. Any questions? Exam, please be careful. Teachers really like to pinpoint these mistakes. Yeah, and they are also right. It's their job to make sure that you speak proper German. uh, these are some other examples, like, weil, da, wenn, trotzdem, deswegen, daher, right? Meanings, anyone? Rishabh? Just tell me the meanings. Tell us the meanings, please.
Das, as we said in the first sentence, means that while because the I'm
Also because
confusing the when means if, trotzdem means
da is also because. So
same.
da
Yeah.
has two meanings. As a conjunction, it means because. Also, I can say da like there. For example, you come to me and say, "Is there some like shop nearby where I can buy cola?" I'll say da. I can just say there. There it has a different meaning. Okay. Yeah. When you said what?
Trotzdem means despite or therefore.
There. Come on. Therefore, it's not never therefore. How
Yes.
can despite therefore? Sorry.
Tosum is nevertheless.
Yeah, nevertheless, yeah.
Nevertheless,
Yeah,
yeah.
and vain is like condition. You can think it of vain as if, but normally think vain as a condition.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're providing some condition. Deswegen,
Deswegen means therefore,
not deswegen, deswegen.
deswegen, yeah.
Yeah,
Therefore or because of that,
yeah. And the next one,
daher, it should
same.
be hence.
Yeah, so therefore, hence, right? Now, if you ask like you say while and da, they both mean because. Yes, uh, when I say because, I'm saying like they you use them to provide a reason. In English, we have like because. So I'm saying like, for example, you have this as a result, hence, therefore, something like that, right? So and for example, as a result and hence, they both literally mean the same thing, right? But you cannot use them, like you can use them interchangeably many times, but there are places where you can only use hence when you're writing a mathematical proof. There are situations where you can only use therefore. Similarly, for now, just try to use them interchangeably or listen actively, when people use da, when people use while. Okay. Questions? Okay, let's continue.
Sorry, could you please tell me what is this? This while means because, correct?
Da and while, they both mean because. You mean this vegan, this one, Karthikeyan?
Sorry, that each one first.
Yeah, thus means that, like that,
Okay,
while and da, they both mean because, or you can think of them when you say while or da, you are giving a reason.
okay.
Okay, with when, you are giving a condition.
So
I
when,
will.
so in English, when, correct?
No, 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 not like that. No, don't think like that. uh, it's condition. If you
If,
really want to think like
okay,
if
if
but
condition.
it's not a good idea. Like, okay, sometimes it's you can think, but you should think of like what is the utility. Because uh, please, you can, for example, I don't mind, I mean, I cannot stop you from like using English translations, but you should think while and the, you are giving a reason. With when, you are giving a condition. With
Okay,
trotzdem, you are saying like, okay, whatever happened before doesn't matter. Trotzdem, blah blah, you know
trust him. Sorry. What is that?
trotzdem, for example, let's say if I have a kid and the kid says like, I have stomach pain and I don't want to go to school, like blah blah, I have stomach pain, I did not do my homework, I blah blah blah, and it's like, does not matter, you have to go to school.
Okay,
Nevertheless, you have to go to school.
okay,
Something like that, right?
okay,
Deswegen daher, you after deswegen daher, you are providing a result.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
right.
yeah. Got it. Yeah, thanks.
For
Okay, fine.
example, I'm sick, therefore I cannot come. Okay, that's not a good example, but okay, you understood, right? Yeah.
Okay,
Homework,
and
please write. Yeah, sorry.
one more thing. So the last one you mentioned in that trend bar verb. Okay, the conjugate. The second position is conjugate, and in that Nebensatz also you mentioned as conjugate. So then both are same only, correct? But the position only
Only
changed.
position change, right? So in Nebensatz, what happens is that the conjugated verb, where doesn't matter where it is, it has to come and take the last position. You check, right? It is all the conjugated verbs are at the last position.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just remember this. When you use das or any of these, the conjugated verb will be at the last position. And it's a
Okay.
really fun
Yeah.
exercise to do, right? When you are framing sentences, you're not used to that. In English, we say the verb, right? In German, you have to really think and you have to place it last. In the beginning, it's difficult, but after you do it, it becomes a game. In your head, you have to place it at the last position. It becomes a game and it's really good. Sorry, questions?
Yeah. This will be applicable for all the.
All these that you see
Uh,
in the red box. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want a revision, you can go to the, like, we have the recording of the zeroth session. You can also go through that. Okay, there we
Okay.
spoke about them in detail. Okay.
Okay.
all the exercises I'm doing, please write a sentence. Write with das. Think of such. Don't try to write something imaginary, but something that you can imagine saying. Okay, you can imagine saying in your real life. All right, more questions?
No, no questions.
Okay, this call will, let me just see. Okay, what we'll do is we'll end this call here, and then I will post the link in this chat itself. Please join using that, because if this ends abruptly, it's not a good feeling. So what I will do is I will post the link. Here is the extra one. Copy. Please copy this, and then I will also post in the group, but you join using this one. After counting from 10 to 1, I will end this call and I will join that one. I will start this one right away so that you guys can join if you want. But yes, I'll count from 10 to 1 and then I'll end this call. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bis gleich.